Welcome back to the Chris and Adam Show. Why did Donald Trump just melt down on the White House lawn for perhaps the 10th time?
I don't know.
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Why is the sky blue, Adam? Why we live in a society? I mean, I feel like we hear this every single day from Donald Trump, which is him melting down, especially over this Epstein issue.
Now, Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell hopes for Trump pardon after DOJ meeting, attorney says. So, the Deputy Attorney General is meeting with Donald Trump, and Ghislaine Maxwell is incentivized in every single way to exonerate Trump and incriminate political enemies. We're supposed to trust that the very DOJ who's covered this up is now going to tell us the truth. Make it make sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. And again, I'm so curious to see, as we clearly are laying the groundwork for a potential, if not definitely a Ghislaine Maxwell pardon, which is just insane to say. But as we see this reporting from Fox, sorry about that, folks. No, but to the Ghislaine Maxwell pardon point is like just a few days ago. This was thank you guys in the chat. Good to see everybody. This was insane just a few days ago. This theory that Ghislaine Maxwell could be pardoned, but now Fox reporting that Ghislaine Maxwell has basically asked the DOJ for a pardon. They just met with her for the second day. Donald Trump saying on the White House lawn, "Well, I haven't looked into it, but I can't rule it out." They are laying the groundwork right now. And that's what's going to happen. How can we trust this political, what is the DOJ, the FBI have become political arms of the president, effectively. And they're going to have Ghislaine Maxwell basically say, "Oh, we didn't know Epstein at all. We know nothing about him." Or Trump didn't know Epstein at all. We weren't really close with Trump. Release some other names of Democrats and move on. Will his base buy it? That's the question. Will his base buy it?
We have some breaking news. Donald Trump standing on the tarmac in Glasgow, Scotland, just moments ago, as you can see on screen, said on the Epstein files, quote, "I'm focused on making deals and not conspiracy theories that you are. I watch you people, and it's so sad. Talk about the success of our country and this nonsense you talk about over and over. Donald Trump is now accusing other people of spreading conspiracy theories, which is absolutely laughable." One more time, welcome to the Chris and Adam Show. Make sure you drop a like below. Make sure you drop some blue hearts. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. We have a few things to talk about. We're going to talk throughout the stream about Ghislaine Maxwell and Donald Trump. She is officially itching for a pardon, which there are a lot of conflicts of interest here. We are going to talk about Gaza for a few minutes because there are some new articles about the starvation going on there. We're going to talk about the redistricting that's going on in Texas. Now Democratic governors want to punch back. Then we're going to loop back around to Jeffrey Epstein and even our friend Isaiah Martin in Texas who got arrested. I want to know how everybody in chat is doing. We are creating a great atmosphere here with the Chris and Adam Show where we're going live a few times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, to talk about the news. So make sure you subscribe below and let's continue. Let's start off with the Ghislaine Maxwell news. Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell hopes for Trump pardon after DOJ meeting. Expert suggests president could commute Maxwell's sentence, 20-year sentence, if she proves to be a, quote, highly cooperative witness. But I shouldn't have to point out the conflict of interest here. When the Trump Attorney General, or the Deputy Attorney General, tries to get information from Ghislaine Maxwell, she's incentivized to essentially help Donald Trump.
Yeah, 100%. There's no question. And again, we talk so much about how the executive branch has been, we live in a different America now. The executive branch is full of hyper-political people. The DOJ is a political arm of the president. It's not, an independent thing working for the American public. This is Project 2025, unitary executive theory. So they're just going to look for any possible way to get Ghislaine Maxwell to say, if you lie on any level, just tell us that you guys didn't know Trump, blah, 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 blah. We'll give you a pardon. And she's incentivized to do so. 20 years. There's no way people can buy this. There's no way if this happens and this is they're out for this, there's no way people buy it, right?
It's wild. U.S. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche has concluded his interview with Ghislaine Maxwell after a second day of talks about her involvement in Jeffrey Epstein's years of crimes. Ghislaine answered every single question asked of her over the last day and a half.
What questions did they ask her? Will you lie for us? Will you lie about Trump?
Essentially.
Yeah.
To continue, Ghislaine answered every question. She answered those questions honestly, truthfully, and to the best of her ability. So the same Attorney General who's covering up all of this over the past few months is now supposed to tell us the truth about what Ghislaine Maxwell said. Donald Trump is now answering questions. And again, he said, I'm focused on making deals. Okay, there's a few things I want to say about this. What deals are you making? You haven't made any deal between any country, 0 peace deals whatsoever, number one. Number two, you haven't gotten any tariff deals at all. But also, if you're not focused on conspiracy theories, why are you always talking about Obama? He's spreading insane theories about Obama 24/7. He's always spreading theories about election fraud, election denial, saying that Obama stole the election from him. He's the king of conspiracy theories. His claim to fame in politics was saying Obama wasn't born in America, which is by definition a conspiracy theory. It's insane. Let's watch this next clip. It says, or he's asked, were you ever briefed about your name being in the Epstein files? And Donald Trump tries to claim, no, but we
obviously have reporting of the exact opposite.
Jeffrey Epstein the Justice Department told Donald Trump that his name is among many in the Epstein files. Bondi also told the president at the meeting that the Justice Department decided not to release more Jeffrey Epstein documents because of the presence of child pornography and the need to protect victims. Remember, Donald Trump was briefed that his name is in the files.
Yeah, and again, I want to point out to people, this is all breaking right now. This is Donald Trump on the tarmac, literally as we speak, 25 seconds ago. Trump saying, quote, stop the windmills. Trump saying, quote, stop the windmills. You are ruining your countries. You fly over and see the windmills all over the place, ruining your beautiful fields and valleys and killing your birds. If they are stuck in the ocean, ruining your oceans. On immigration, you better get your act together or you will not have Europe anymore. That was Donald Trump 25 seconds ago on the tarmac in Scotland. And so, yeah, I mean, again, it's so interesting. And we've said it so many times. I mean, we've talked about this over and over and over again. And I know you guys have heard it. And we love you for hearing it over and over because it's truly so important. This is such an important issue to hammer Trump on. That, yeah, like you said, his claim to fame is conspiracy theories. He doesn't react like this to any other issue ever. He doesn't say to any other issue, oh, why don't you focus on what actually matters in this country, which is people's financial success. Are you effing kidding me? He doesn't say that about literally anything else. He focuses on everything except actual successes in our country. He's focused on, like you said, Obama treason, auto pen, the election being stolen, and now all of a sudden it's all people need to stop focusing on the insane stuff.
He pivots to the most divisive issues possible, and now he's thinking of, pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, or he wouldn't rule it out. Now, I think it's all dependent on what sort of information we get coming out of the DOJ, coming out of Ghislaine Maxwell, and that's all going to be filtered through the lens of Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche, who is Trump's personal attorney. So Trump's personal attorney throughout the cases is now going to be coming out and running defense for Donald Trump, and there are a lot of conflicts of interest. Mike C. asked in chat, any new or renewed South Park fans here today? We'll talk about South Park in a bit. That's a really good topic. You watched the clip, right?
I did.
We could play the clip on stream, but it would probably get the entire stream struck down. Either way, if you're joining, make sure you drop a like. How's everybody doing? We are currently talking about Ghislaine Maxwell being interviewed behind closed doors by the DOJ, by Donald Trump's personal attorney. The amount of conflicts of interest are insane. So again, we're only going to get some information filtered through the lens of Pam Bondi. Whatever Donald Trump tells her to release, it's likely going to be evidence that incriminates one side, exonerates the other side, so Donald Trump can then feed all of that red meat to his base. In the meantime, he's distracting everybody with these Obama conspiracy theories, which are offensive, egregious, and we need somebody to be leading the way on how false these are. There's no central Democratic figure is leading the way. I think Newsom did a good job for a bit, but I was reading through all of the documents and it's just pure BS. It's so easy to debunk. All you have to do is essentially just read through the documents. Russia tried to interfere in our elections through social media campaigns. They weren't able to hack the elections. And then now they're basically saying Obama made it all up. He didn't make it up. This all happened, and Republican Senate Intelligence Committee said that it happened. So going back to the
Republican-led Senate Intelligence Committee led by who?
Marco Rubio.
Rubio.
So going back to this, I mean, they're trying to distract from the Epstein files by any means necessary, and we cannot let it happen. We have to be leading the way. If there's some information that comes out from Ghislaine Maxwell, it'll be very easy to tell if it was filtered through this lens of Pam Bondi trying to lie to us. So let's jump into the news of the day. That was a nice primer. I think we should jump over to our friend Isaiah Martin.
Yeah, Isaiah Martin, somebody who, a Gen Zer running for Congress in Texas, good friend of mine personally, Isaiah Martin, his brother Josh Martin, Olivia Juliana. These are people I text every day in a group chat, and essentially Isaiah Martin talking about redistricting in Texas, talking to at the Texas, the Texas State House, was arrested and actually charged with resisting arrest. I believe that was his official charge. There's a video here that Adam's showing on stream.
This is our friend. He's been on the show multiple times.
Yeah.
He was basically thrown to the ground and then charged with resisting arrest. He's still in jail as we're speaking right now. And again, we're going to return to the Ghislaine Maxwell. But if you live in Texas, this is unacceptable. This is all because Republicans are trying to essentially rig the midterms. Our young Gen Z friend, who is 26 years old, is then forcefully removed. You guys see this, right? This is absolutely wild. Forcefully removed by goons. We had to be talking about this a bit. This reads, congressional candidate Isaiah Martin was arrested inside the Texas state capitol. Can you explain a little bit what this battle's over with redistricting?
I mean, essentially in Texas, they're going to try to, in the middle of the term, you're not supposed to, obviously everything in the United States, all these states are gerrymandered, so whoever's in control can get the most amount of seats in Congress. And normally you don't redistrict, you redistrict every 10 years. It's supposed to be based on census data. Well, Republicans in Texas want to do it just halfway through the decade. Do it now so they can squeeze extra seats in the midterms out of Texas. And so Isaiah Martin is someone running for Texas, or running for Congress in Texas, went up there to talk about how egregious and gross this was when, they said, your time's up. He kept speaking, and then they essentially tackled him to the ground. And again, we're seeing now Democrat governors starting to fight back. Isaiah's been a proponent of, screw this. Democrats fight with their hands behind their back. We play by rules that don't exist. Democrats are unwilling, like Republicans are, in such ferocity, to gerrymander their states. And Isaiah Martin's standpoint at this point is, F this. If Texas you want to get the gerrymandering problem fixed in the United States, then it'll be fixed once Democrats gerrymander the hell out of California. Let's squeeze 20 seats out of California and see how fast Republicans want to pass a bill through Congress, making sure that gerrymandering isn't a thing anymore. And honestly, it's not a bad take. And so Isaiah Martin, again, good friend of ours. I spoke, and I'll say this on stream, I spoke to Josh last night, Isaiah's brother. I love Josh. Isaiah a little bit younger than Josh a little bit younger than Isaiah. And I texted him at 1, 2 in the morning last night. I said, how you holding up? You okay? He texted back at me. He's like, yeah, man, I'm okay. I'm just trying to get him out of jail. He's still there right now in a suit. He's been there for almost 24 hours now. They're trying to get him out. I don't know what is going on. He's got to post bond, et cetera, because I guess his official charge now is just resisting arrest. And so Isaiah Martin, I texted Josh last night, and I don't, not to get into personal conversations with the Martins, but I was like, man, how you holding up? He's like, I'm good. Trying to get him out of jail, and we're just, trying to move forward. And so I'm showing them a lot of love. Again, you can go to IsaiahMartin.org if you want to support Isaiah, our friend, Gen Z member running for Congress. So yeah, do you think that that's the correct move for Democrat governors to just start just putting the hammer back? If they want to gerrymander Texas, let's gerrymander.
Yeah, I think that there's this analogy that norms in a democracy are a lot like consent, where if one side is following the rules of consent, then it's not consent anymore. You can't have a one-sided relationship. In the same way that if one side is following the norms over and over and over, and the other side is just not following the norms, you can't have a working democracy. So you need both sides functioning. And one side has repeatedly broken the norms for the past decade. Over and over, Republicans have broken the norms, whether we're talking about Merrick Garland wanting to be nominated to the Supreme Court, and Republicans said last minute, we can't do that. But then when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, all of a sudden we can nominate someone at the last minute. So they break the norms over and over. Donald Trump literally tries to steal an election. Now they're doing it in a little bit more legally savvy way by trying to gerrymander, which is still...
You're saying January 6th wasn't legally savvy?
Yeah, no, obviously. He just came in with a sledgehammer. So now it's getting scary. It's getting incredibly scary, and Democrats do need to punch back. We can't have a relationship where one side is functioning and following the norms and the other side is not punching back. I say, in an ideal reality, California cuts off any sort of aid or any sort of funds going to red states from the federal, or going to the federal government, then to red states, and they just give it directly to blue states. Now, it's not that simple because individuals in the state of California still pay federal taxes. But in an ideal world, blue states choke off red states. In an ideal world, we actually punch back because Republicans have been doing this in a top-down way for years now. I was going to say decades, but it's not for decades. It's only in the Donald Trump era. It's absolutely disgusting.
No, you're right. And again, you want it to stop. Republicans will get that shit passed through Congress if Democrats start abusing it. And so maybe it's a good take. And it's interesting the consent point you brought up. I haven't heard exactly that analogy, but it's really good. Also, if you're in the stream, make sure you drop some blue hearts down below. It's great to see everybody. We're going to get to some more news of the day as, again, Donald Trump
let's talk about the Texas
on the tarmac. I just want to say, before you go to Texas, it's Friday. You've been working really, really hard, just like the last week, obviously in New York, CNN, still posting 9-10 videos a day. You're killing it, brother. I appreciate you. I'm proud of you. And for me, I've been trying to post on TikTok, on YouTube, and today I'm tired, but something that's keeping me awake is the coffee in my mug. It's keeping it nice and warm. This mug says Mockler Media, which
hell yeah, we created some Mockler Media merch. It's
what a segment to promote the merch.
What a good segue. A few things to promote. Number one, if you become a member, you get early access to the merch, the mugs. So become a member below. You can also go follow Chris Mowry on YouTube. He's killing it on his channel. Chris Mowry on Instagram. Become a member below. So much good stuff. We have a few thousand in the stream, so let's continue to keep pushing. Great segue, by the way.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
So we're going to talk about Ghislaine in 1 second, but I do think this is an important story. And all the Epstein mess, the Texas redistricting battle could spread across other red and blue states. This is what we were just talking about. Everyone in chat, yes or no? Yes or no? Should Democrats punch back by redistricting blue states to squeeze out 5 seats like red states are? I think so. The battle over Texas redistricting could send ripples through multiple other states as both Republicans and Democrats try to secure as many congressional seats as possible. When Republicans open the floodgates and break the norms over and over, yes, of course, we're going to break the norms.
Yeah, I'm seeing almost everybody in the chat saying yes, yes, yes.
I don't want to see, and the no's, you're either Republican plants or you're like Merrick Garland. You're just like, really want to follow the norms.
Yo, we got Wendy says, sure, Melissa, yes, Richard, yes, Shannon, yes, Marie, Marianne, excuse me. Yes, I love all of you. You guys are, 100%.
Their goal would be to draw the line such that 5 seats would go from having a Democratic representative to a Republican one. So they want to flip 5 different seats. If Texas Republicans follow through with their redistricting plan, Democrats in California and other Democratic-led states say they plan to fight back. So then Newsom and Hakeem Jeffries and leaders in all these blue states, the biggest ones, New York and California, will try to create enough seats to then push back. It'll become an all-out war, and Republicans will have started it. They want to break the norms. They want to play ball. Then we're going to play ball.
And again, it goes back to the point of, what do I say, Adam? What did Brad Latimer say? It's not a difference ideologically between leftists and liberals. It's a difference between fighters and non-fighters. And what's it time to do, Adam? It's time to fight. It's time to fight. It's time for Democrat. I'm sorry. I have a bad thing with talking like Trump sometimes. It's time to fight. Democrat, the governors who fight, I assume will do better in the midterms and leading into 2028, whatever they want to do, because Democrat voters are looking for fighters. I know you are looking for fighters.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a fighter.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's what we've been talking about is Democrats who can fight. It always reminds me of this tweet, everybody in chat. It says, the last decade has been Democrats clinging on to the rule book going, but a dog can't play basketball while a dog effing dunks on us over and over. Because basically, we're following the rules. We're like, hey, wait a minute. You can't do that. There's no way you can do that. And then Trump and the Republicans are like, watch me do it. Right. Watch me do it over and over and over. Then they do it and do it and do it. And then Democrats are still caught there with their pants down. And I say this as somebody who obviously is going to continue fighting for more democratic, liberal, leftist values. But it's overall just like, hey, sometimes we got to get down and dirty and fight while they are. F the rules. And, we would be following the rules if we were living 30 30 years ago, we were Democrats were following the rules. We have been following the rules, but now is not the time to play clean, if you know what I mean.
That's right.
So
that's right. And David said it best. Don't forget to smash like, costs nothing, and it will help the channel. That's right. If you haven't clicked like already. And again, I actually like this tweet a lot. You got to send this to me.
Blade Snake in chat said, bunch of liberal nonsense. I love to bite on the comments because listen, tell me which part of this is liberal nonsense. Trump has not ended a single war he promised to. In fact, Ukraine is still going. That's not nonsense. He said 90 deals in 90 days. He's gotten basically none.
Well,
maybe one.
How's inflation doing?
Inflation went up above expectations. Blade Snake, which of that was liberal nonsense? Those are all actual facts.
That's right.
I love rolling through MAGAs who think they have any sort of facts when inflation is higher, Russia has taken territory. Let's talk about the pardon. There's no pardon yet, but Trump has floated the idea.
Yeah, he's floated the idea. We just learned from Fox again, pretty much when the stream started, that the Department of Justice or Ghislaine Maxwell actually essentially asked for a pardon from the Department of Justice or something along those lines. Is looking for a pardon. The Department of Justice just met with her for the second day, and that's the most direct reporting we've got. This is where we're at. The Department of Justice meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell wanting a pardon, and Donald Trump being asked about it today on the White House lawn. And a lot of what we see from Republicans is it's constant prep for what's going to happen. And so when Donald Trump, if you know Donald Trump, he said on the White House, somebody asked him on the White House lawn, are you thinking about giving her a pardon? He said, I haven't thought about it, but I could do it. He
never gives a solid
Yeah,
answer.
he says, I'm not ruling it out. That is the definition. He's laying the groundwork. He's just prepping. You just give it you give a little bit so people know what's coming. People in this chat now know what's coming. And you let it sit. The news cycle's so 24 hours that in a week, if he does partner, it won't be as shocking to people. It's again, it's normalization of this insanity. And it's something that, frankly, Republicans in the media machine are so good at. It's just normalizing the insane. And part of the way you do that is laying the groundwork. So the fact that we get this reporting from Fox, they finish meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell, and Donald Trump's like, well, I haven't thought about it, but I can do it. I have the power to do it. It's signs are starting to point in the direction that he's going to do it.
He's so desperate for an out. I've never seen a political poison pill for Donald Trump like the Jeffrey Epstein case.
Yeah.
We've always complained about how everything seems to bounce off Donald Trump over and over, but in this case, it seems like Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein are sticking due to Donald Trump's proximity in the amount of stories that come out over and over and over. It's not just one story that comes out. We then find out that in 1993, he held a party where they invited 28 young girls and only Jeffrey Epstein. We then learn that he sent Jeffrey Epstein a letter when Epstein was in the peak of his sexual perversion, which was 2003. If you read the indictment, it was 2002 to 2005. That's when Jeffrey Epstein was in the peak of his sexual perversion. That's when Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were buddy-buddy, and Trump was sending Epstein things. So he's incredibly desperate. And the more we learn about it, the creepier it gets. You guys all saw this clip the other day of Donald Trump. By the way, really quickly, let's check out what he's doing right now on the tarmac. This guy just can't stop speaking about it. He's talking about cutting the ribbon in Glasgow. He's talking about, let's stop this horrible invasion that's happening in Europe. Some leaders have not let it happen. This dude is insane. He's talking about windmills for about 5 minutes straight, it looks like. And then when he's asked about Blanche and Maxwell, let me listen to this clip. You guys may not be able to hear it, but let me listen.
I really have really nothing to say about it. She is being talked to by a very smart man, by a very good man, Todd Blanche. And I don't know anything about the conversation. I haven't really been following it.
Trump is basically claiming he doesn't know about the conversation, but here's the reality. Trump's personal lawyer, who defended him throughout the campaign when he was going through his trials, his personal lawyer, Todd Blanche, is a deputy attorney general, and the deputy attorney general is doing one-on-one behind closed doors interview where they're then going to release filtered nonsense, information that has only been filtered through Attorney General Todd Blanche, then up through Pam Bondi, then up through Donald Trump. Then that's what's going to be released. It's pretty disgusting.
It's not good. It's really not good. And also, speaking of what we just saw from Donald Trump on the tarmac, somebody asked me last night on TikTok Live, they were like, do you really believe that, how badly do you think Donald Trump is cognitively declining? And my response was, no word of a lie. Sometimes I don't know the difference between Donald Trump he's clearly like getting older. He's clearly in cognitive decline. But how much of it is cognitive decline versus like him being an idiot? And this is so funny to me when I hear clips like this. It's like, you know how you've seen Donald Trump lately go off about the word grocery? I know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like,
well, he created that word.
Yeah,
that's what he claims.
Yeah. He's like, grocery. What a great word, grocery. You don't hear it much. I'm like, is that Donald Trump cognitively declining? Probably some. Is that Donald Trump just being Donald Trump? Like, is he just that stupid? Probably some of that too. And it's like the way he speaks on the tarmac. He's like, Todd Blanche. What did he say? He's like, just now. He's like, what a great guy, an amazing guy, smart guy. I'm like, is that some of him just rambling, slurring, cognitive decline? Yeah, probably. But is it also someone just like Donald Trump has like the IQ of a small child? It's like
my theory is that he already didn't know anything about policy or politics. Like he has no clue about any of this and is not articulate, and that's only compounded as he gets older and older. We know that he was covering up some sort of health issues with makeup until independent media was covering it enough where, you know, they had to talk about it. They also were just trying to distract in any way from the Epstein case. But I genuinely think, I don't even think this. We know that the presidency puts a lot of stress on you. It doesn't matter who you are or how much you golf or how much you chill. The presidency does age you. 100%. I mean, President Biden clearly aged throughout the presidency. It became a problem. You can look up photos of Obama. He ages. So Donald Trump is doing a lot of travel. He's doing a lot of pressers, and he's clearly aging very, very hard, like just very, very rapidly. So that compounds his inability to speak, his infantile language. It only gets compounded. Now he just repeats the same phrases over and over and over.
That's right. It's well said. Well, we will keep everybody updated on this issue specifically and what Donald Trump says on the tarmac.
Let's talk about Gaza for just 1 second. This was a topic that we want to bring some attention to. This article dropped. Gazans are currently dying of starvation. After 21 months of devastating conflict with Israel, Gaza's most vulnerable citizens, the young, the old, and the sick, are facing what aid groups say is impending famine. This is an article that we want to bring some attention to. A lot of Epstein stuff we will talk about. We'll continue to go back to Ghislaine, but this is important. This is incredibly important. There are human rights abuses going on across the globe in Gaza and Ukraine. We've talked about Ukraine relentlessly, but Atef Abu Qatar, 17, who was healthy before Gaza was gripped by war, lies in intensive care in a hospital in north of the Palestinian enclave, studying from severe malnutrition. Quote, he is not responding to the treatment, said his father, Abu Qatar, 48, who has been sheltering in a tent in Gaza City. No matter your feeling on the war, there should be a bare minimum level of human care, supplies that are sent to people. And the Biden administration tried to do that. We did.
Yeah, sorry. I was kind of struck by some of the words you read.
Gaza's hospitals have struggled since early in the war to cope with the influx of Palestinians injured and maimed by Israeli airstrikes and, more recently, by shootings meant to disperse desperate crowds as they surge toward food convoys. See, that's the sick thing. When you do something like you have a food truck go in and then you shoot the people around the food truck, it's sickening. It kind of reminds me of when immigrants are told to go to immigration courts in the United States, and when they go to the court, they get deported. It's like you can't. Tricking people, subverting expectations is the sickest type of like mental, physical warfare.
Yeah, it's genuinely. I appreciate you again bringing up this story and some of the news you've heard just over the last week of how dire the situation is getting. It's really, really, really tragic, and aid must flow better through Gaza. And unfortunately, Joe Biden said it best. Again, regardless of your feelings of the war, like Bibi is, continuing this war for his own self-preservation, right? He's facing, corruption charges. He's, got all this stuff going on. And again, regardless of the nuance, he's in a lot of ways determined to continue this, and something has to change because it's just tragic what we read,
Yeah.
Tragic.
According to doctors in the territory, an increasing number of their patients are suffering and dying from starvation. We need to end the war. We need leaders in place who are able to end these wars. It's sick that we have weak weak leaders. And this brings us back to one of the main topics. Now, I just wanted to make sure that we talked about some other things, such as the redistricting of Texas, which we've touched on. It's important to talk about Republicans stealing the midterms. It's important to talk about human rights abuses across the planet and talking about our own plans with the Chris and Adam show. But going back to this, Trump said this morning he's allowed, quote, allowed to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Why is this MFer not able to answer a single question? Like, when he was asked if he wants to deport Elon Musk, he said, I could do that. I'm allowed to do that. He's never able to say, like, no, right, or I wouldn't do that. He's always open to doing anything. President Donald Trump said he has not considered pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, but he could do so if he wanted. Why it matters. Trump is facing a wave of political backlash, and now Ghislaine Maxwell is again having behind closed doors meetings, which that's scary. We may never know the contents of these behind closed doors meetings because we'll only know the interpretation of Todd Blanche. That interpretation will then be filtered through Pam Bondi. Some critics have speculated that Trump could pardon Maxwell following her meeting with DOJ officials, depending on what she says.
So what do you think? Let me ask you this. Trump pardons Ghislaine Maxwell. We get filtered information. Do you think Americans buy it? Does his base buy it? Do people just like accept what happens and move on?
His base absolutely buys it, but I think there's already an erosion of his most staunch dogmatic supporters. So people who believed every word of the Trump administration, I've seen some of those people, even on my like friends list from high school or my old Facebook list, say, I'm a little bit more skeptical now. I'm sure people in chat have seen some of their MAGA coworkers or family members a little bit more skeptical. So that skepticism can go a long way if we can continue to push it.
No, I agree 100%. I'm curious. I'm very curious again how this plays out, and some of the staunch Trump supporters we've seen flip on him. This is like really core of his base. If they buy this, if Ghislaine Maxwell gets pardoned, and we get all this filtered garbage of, oh yeah, I mean, Epstein and Trump didn't even know each other. They never knew each other. Those photos, they're actually AI generated. And if people will buy that. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think that this is like, I'm trying to think of an infamous group of criminals. Like what's an infamous group of...
An infamous group of criminals?
Yeah, like who are those people that used to rob the trains?
Are you trying to take me back to like high school, like history right now?
Yeah, like...
dude, I was such a
the
bad
group of
student.
train robbers. Who is it? Or no, something like...
Wait, no, that's wrong. I don't know.
Somebody in chat. I need something.
Red. Is it red something? By the way, I saw a chat or two. Everyone, show some love. Share live if you haven't. Maybe to your MAGA grandma. I saw someone in chat. They said, Adam and Chris, you guys need a comb. You need to comb your hair. And, it kind of sounds like my father sometimes, my dad. I love him to death. He's always like, Chris, your hair is too long. Your hair is too long. You need to cut it. People, supporters saying, Chris and Adam, your hair needs to come. Well, I don't have time to get a haircut today, but luckily I can cover up my messy hair with this new hat.
Oh, hell yeah. The Mockler Media hat.
This new hat that I got.
Clean as hell.
It says Mockler Media, which, by the way, if you are a member, you can get early access to buying the Mockler Media merch, which, again, saw some people chat say they ordered it. So, yeah, what a smooth